It's finale week and it's Wednesday, so it must be farewell to Sylvia Browne. She's been a friend of the show and to myself for the last 17 years, and every time she's here, the audience goes crazy. Before we get together with Sylvia on stage, we're going to go deep into the vault and show you some of her most unforgettable appearances. A farewell to Sylvia Browne finale week continues right now. Welcome, and thanks so much for joining us today. You know, this week we're celebrating our 17 years of the Montel Williams Show as we prepare for our grand finale on Friday. And people always come up to me and ask me, Montel, who was your favorite guest? And I got to tell you, we've had one guest that's been with us since really almost day one. She is the longest running guest in daytime television, and she's been on the set since 1991. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about world-renowned psychic Sylvia Browne, and you got to take a look at her first appearance on the show. Please welcome my very special guest, Sylvia Browne. How long have you been doing this, Sylvia?
39 years.
39 years. And when did you first realize that you were psychic?
When I first, they say when I was 3, but when I first began to realize it was when I was 5.
5. And I mean, what was the first realization to yourself?
I told my mother that my father was having an affair. We all want to know the same things. How am I going to do in life?
Is there a Mr. Right coming into my life?
Am I spiritually okay?
Who was I in my last life?
Were either one of my daughters ever important in a past life?
Does God love me?
Do you see anything good in my love life?
If and when I was going to get married.
Am I forgiven?
Do you see me having sex down the line?
And am I going to have kids?
What's my next job?
What kind of job would I be getting in about a year?
Wait, Sylvia, I have this one. Burger King and...
Well, I like to ask the same question she did.
When will you get married?
Yeah, like to who?
Well, you're going to have 2 women that are going to be in your life. You settle for the more voluptuous one.
But has he met these women yet?
I don't think so. No, his love life has been really kind of flat as a...
I want to know what's going to happen in my future, like in the next 2 years, maybe with respect to my love life or money.
Really, it's not that I want to negate your love life, but the money situation looks like the best.
Better than the love life?
Uh-huh. Better
Really?
than the love life, yeah.
No, what just happened? My mom was going, more money, I can buy love life. No.
That's right.
You know, over the years, thousands of people have come to our studio to ask Sylvia Browne questions about their own lives, but today you're going to get an opportunity to find out about Sylvia's life.
I grew up in a middle-class family in Kansas City, Missouri. At 3 years old, they told me that I knew who was coming, who was going to ring the phone. At 5, I was sitting on the couch facing 2 of my great-grandmothers, because in my family we lived to be so old, and I saw their faces run, which scared me to death. Not knowing at the time until my maternal grandmother, thank God I had her, who was a psychic, said that means that they're going to pass over to God's house, is how she put it. And within 2 weeks, both of them were dead. That wasn't exactly a great way to be introduced to my ability. When I was younger, I used to wish that I could shut it off, because until my grandmother told me I could dim my light, it was always on. I would find I didn't want to be in crowds of people because I would pick up everything, a sick stomach, a headache, a divorce, a death, and now I can go through groups and dim the light, as we say. I'm the only one out of the family that went to psychologists, psychiatrists, and was tested and everything else. And my grandmother said to me, why are you doing that? And I said, well, we could be 300 years of schizophrenics and we don't know it. All the reports, I can show them to you, came back and said, Sylvia's very normal. She's very outgoing. She doesn't need a secondary personality, but she has something very paranormal happening. At 71 years of age, doing it for 53 years professionally, if I didn't have passion for it, I would be dead by now. I really, really love it. I mean, everybody that knows me, seen me in concert or heard me on the phone, I've never lost my enthusiasm. When that day comes, I'll stop.
Over the years, Sylvia's made some amazing predictions. Take a look at just a few.
Sylvia, were either one of my daughters ever important in a past life of mine?
No, and neither were any of us.
Oh, okay.
I've never found anybody important.
No, you know what? Everybody thinks that they're like
Everybody's going
kings,
to be
queens.
Cleopatra, George Washington. I've been in this business 70 years, 53 years practicing. I've never found George Washington, Marilyn Monroe, and anybody.
My father passed away in 1996, and while babysitting my 3-year-old granddaughter, she came to me and she looked up at me and she said, "I'm your dad." And she tells me about things that happened to me when I was a baby. And I don't know if she has
true.
a creative imagination.
No, it's true.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's a recycle effect. We don't have many of those, but you're one of them.
Will she lose this as you told her?
Nah, not if she keeps asking it.
So wait a minute, though. This is a child walking around thinking that she's somebody else. Or not thinking she's somebody else, but it is somebody
She knows. She knows that she was the father.
My youngest son has told us that he has lived before, that he was a doctor.
Oh, yeah, please. I'm writing a book about that now. He was a doctor in the Old West. Ask him about that. Ask him if he didn't ride around a horse and buggy. You're not leading him. He'll tell you.
Okay.
Then say to him, what was your name?
I think he told us at one time his name was John.
Yeah, his name was John Vincent, but don't you dare tell him that. You let him tell you.
Who was I in my last life?
Your very last life, you were a saloon keeper, a female. You know, like, what was it, Gunsmoke? Kitty. What was her name? Remember?
Kitty.
Yeah, like that.
Was I in the U.S.?
Yeah.
What's
Yeah,
that?
in the Old West, like Dodge City.
Can girl, what up?
You weren't one of the girls. You know, you were the madam.
Okay. Thank you. I think my mother will be happy about it.
I'm sure.
More Sylvia when we come back. We'll be back right after.